most dangerous baby daddy in the world is not the baby daddy that leaves you when you're pregnant. Not the baby daddy that cheats or leaves you for another woman or doesn't pay his child support or the one you never see again. The most dangerous baby daddy is the one that wants to sit around and play house. Wants to sit around and pretend you're a family all while being non-committal to you. That way you can't move on, you can't detach, you can't find somebody that truly loves you. This kind of baby daddy will take your entire life if you let him. Put your foot down, have a boundary, walk away to somebody who is giving you breadcrumbs and go find the love of your life. Get somebody while you're young and beautiful. You deserve somebody that wants to be there consistently, committed to you. Give your kids the opportunity to see a family raised in love.
I didn't go into having a child thinking I wouldn't be with the father.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents are still married. So I did not see that. I did not see that. But when you are pregnant and when I gave birth, I literally was a different destiny. Like what I was attracted to before, I was not then. It was like a whole nother version of yourself because there's this little person, a little you, and you know, it's very different. And I also think that I really want men to understand the scar they leave on women while they cheat on women if they're pregnant, or you know, how they treat their woman after they have a baby. I mean, it's huge. Yeah. It's so huge. I'm 22, 23 pregnant, and I'm just hormonal crazy. Yeah. Go through my baby daddy phone. We living together. I said, oh, cause dang, like it's betrayal. It's something that's really hard to get over. Yeah. It affects everything. I think that I really would like men to realize that.
I don't think that you'll ever truly get over how somebody treats you during pregnancy and postpartum. Like those are two of the most vulnerable times in a woman's life. And if a man can do you wrong during those times, you can't ever convince me that like that man loves you, ever. Like, I went through some of the hardest times during pregnancies, both of them, and postpartum. And someone can betray you while you're literally carrying their child, like they do not care about you. And doing that to a woman, knowing she's carrying your child, speaks volumes on you as a man. And I just cannot, it makes me so sad. And like everything that I went through and seeing women who go through pregnancy and postpartum with a man that just does them so wrong, like my heart goes out to them. Like I don't even know. And it's sad, like when you get, like once you leave the situation and then you like want more kids, but you're so scared of ever going through that again. Like I wouldn't wish some like that on my worst enemy, the feeling of being betrayed postpartum and during pregnancy.
My dad's been cheating on my mom since she was pregnant with me. It is something that we have grown up with, and to protect the secrets and the lies was my childhood life. We were at a restaurant. I was super hungry, and we finally sat down, and lo and behold, across that restaurant, we see my dad with his mistress. And I told my mom, "Can you believe it? I can't believe he's here with her." My mom said, "Let's quickly get up and leave." I said, "Why should we leave? We're not doing anything wrong, and I'm hungry. I'd like to stay and eat." And she insisted that we leave. I couldn't understand it. My mom stayed with my dad even after that moment. And when I turned 22, I asked her a random question. I said, "Hey, if I married someone like Dad, what would you want me to do?" And she said, "Leave." I said, "But you're showing me how to stay." 2 weeks later, she had 2 pieces of luggage ready, packed, and she left him. How does cheating impact the children? Having an affair doesn't just impact the spouse, it impacts the entire family dynamic. My dad's
with my little sister. My husband just had a baby with my little sister. Even saying those words feels surreal, like out of a twisted soap opera, but this is my life now, and it's a nightmare I wouldn't wish on anyone. Let me take you back to how it all started. At the time of this betrayal happened, I was pregnant. We were expecting our first child, and I was over the moon about it. And that that time, my family had planned one of our regular vacations to Florida. It's a tradition we've done for years, and usually I wouldn't miss it for the world. But this time, being so far along in my pregnancy and not feeling great, I decided to stay home and rest. My husband went along with my family as usual, including my younger sister. Fast forward a couple of months, and my sister made a surprising announcement. She was pregnant. The whole family celebrated, excited for her new journey into motherhood. When she was asked about the father, she just brushed it off, saying it was a colleague who didn't want to be involved. That explanation seemed plausible at the time, so no one pressed her further. In hindsight, they were signs. Things I didn't pick up on until everything unraveled. My husband, for one, seemed oddly interested in my sister's pregnancy. He would ask her all kinds of questions, how she was feeling, how the baby was doing, whether she needed anything. I noticed it, but I dismissed it as him being unusually thoughtful. Maybe he was just being kind and supportive, or so I thought. Then came the birth of her baby. Everyone was thrilled to welcome the newest member of the family, but my husband's interest in this baby stood out. He doted on my sister's child in a way that seemed different from how he interacted with our nieces and nephews. Again, I brushed it off. Maybe he was just being caring, or I thought I was imagining things, but it wasn't until this week that everything fell apart. I was going through our credit card bill when I noticed a charge to a medical clinic. Curious, I called the clinic to ask them about it, and the receptionist said it was for a circumcision. That stopped me in my tracks. We'd recently had our baby, a girl, so clearly this charge wasn't for us. At the time, I thought it might be fraud, so I blocked the card and chalked it up to some random mix-up, but something nagged me later. Later, I called my sister to check in. During our conversation, she actually mentioned that her baby had just gotten a circumcision because it wasn't done at the hospital. My stomach dropped. Suddenly, that charge didn't seem like a mistake anymore. When I confronted her about the coincidence, she just brushed me off, calling me crazy and saying it was just that, a coincidence. But the pieces were starting to fall into place. After that call with my sister, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling. Something about the whole situation felt off, like the missing pieces of a puzzle were just out of reach. So I called my husband. I asked him point blank about the charge and whether he had any idea what was going on. At first, he tried to deny it, saying it must have been a mistake, but I pressed harder, and eventually he cracked. The words came out of his mouth changed everything. He admitted the truth. The baby was his. He had slept with my sister while I was pregnant with our child, and now they had a baby together. I sat there in stunned silence, trying to process what I just heard. My world felt like it was crumbling beneath me. Not only had my husband betrayed me in the most unimaginable way, but my own sister had been complicit in it. As if that wasn't bad enough, he also confessed that he had been paying for her medical expenses throughout her pregnancy. To keep it hidden from me, he used his personal credit card instead of our joint account. The charge that I had discovered on our shared account was a mistake. He hadn't meant for me to find out, but I guess in some twisted way, that mistake turned out to be a blessing because it forced the truth to come out. I asked him how long this had been going on. How could he do this to me, to our family, to our child? His answers were infuriatingly vague, filled with excuses and half-hearted apologies. He tried to justify his actions by saying it was a one-time mistake, that it didn't mean anything. But how could it not mean anything? They had a baby together. I felt sick to my stomach. Betrayal is one thing, but this was a level of deceit I couldn't have imagined in my worst nightmares. My mind raced with questions. How long had this been going on? Was the family vacation just a convenient cover for their betrayal? Had everyone else known and I was the last to find out? The most painful part was realizing how far he had gone to keep his secret. He'd been living a double life, playing the role of a loving husband to me while secretly supporting my sister and their baby. And my sister? Someone I had trusted completely had lied to my face about the father of her child, weaving a story about a colleague who didn't want to be involved. I didn't even know what to feel. Anger, heartbreak, humiliation, but one thing was clear. I couldn't stay in this marriage. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. I told him that his actions had destroyed not only our relationship, but also my family. I don't know how I'll ever be able to face my sister again. For now, I'm focusing on my child and trying to figure out how to move forward. One thing's for sure, I'm done with both of them. Some betrayals are simply unforgivable.
Okay with videos for my husband's girlfriend. If you're not my husband's girlfriend, just keep scrolling.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know who you are, but I know you know who I am. But I'm here to talk to you about my kids with your boyfriend, but my husband, you know, Carlos. My kids are being neglected because he's with you and because he's putting you before our kids. Now, Mr. Carlos has a pattern of doing this because when he got with me, he neglected his first son because of his weird relationship that he had with his first baby mama.
So let me get this straight. A man with a history of neglecting his children is now neglecting the children that you have with him, and now it's a problem.
I just try to have a conversation with him on the phone about our daughter's birthday so that he could come back into his life after almost 5 months of not seeing them. And you know what he did? He put you before my kids, and that is absolutely not okay with me.
One of the biggest mistakes some women make is letting a man convince them that he's going to be different for them. If he cheated on every other woman in the past, you let this man convince you that you're special. They don't have what you have. You're different. If he cheated on them, he's going to cheat on you because he's still a cheater. And if he was a deadbeat dad to those kids, he's going to be a deadbeat dad to yours because he's a deadbeat dad. I hate to admit it, but the one thing that he's good at is convincing the woman that he's with right now that she's better than his exes. That's how he got you. And that's how he got the next girl to think that her and her kid is special. She's not special. She's just the woman for right now because he's good at convincing women of feeling like they're better than the last. If you're the new girl and your man has you convinced that all of his baby mamas are problematic, when do you ask yourself, why does he keep picking them?
My ex-husband told me everyone cheats when their wife is pregnant. Anxiety on. When I was about 6 months pregnant, I found out that my husband at the time had cheated on me. This is our first baby, and I had been very, very sick with severe morning sickness. And basically, he had gone on a work trip. He had to drive through a couple states, and he ended up stopping in Oregon and at like a restaurant or something, and he met this woman there and decided to take her back to his hotel and sleep with her. And didn't tell her that he had a woman who was pregnant at home, you know, waiting for him to get home. He also went on this work trip where he told me that he was going to go there for like business work stuff, like construction was what he was doing. No, he was going there to pick weed on his like cousin's farm, and his whole family was in on that lie.